皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So today, I would actually like to talk a little bit about my university memories, I should say, when I was a university student. I actually haven't talked about this so much in my other videos, like in my main channel, but when I was in university, I actually trained in Shorinji Kenpo. Yes. The reason why I don't talk about this too much is because I wasn't even able to get to a black belt in Shorinji Kenpo, and I only have a brown belt. Yeah, so that's like, I haven't even started. I wasn't even standing on the starting line of Shorinji Kenpo yet. So that's the reason why I usually don't talk about it too much. But I did seriously train it as a Shorinji Kenpo club team in my university who did win in national tournaments like every year, and it was a very, very strong team. Also a super, super strict team. There I had some of my friends who were also training in Shorinji Kenpo who came into university to do Shorinji Kenpo. Yes, and he actually had some sponsors on his dogi, yes, from companies. So that's how serious the training was. And it's really nice that they did accept beginners like me, because before I entered university, I did not do any Shorinji Kenpo at all, yes. But I think you can understand how strict that is, right? You have one friend in your grade that has earning money from doing what he is training at all of his games and tournaments. So yeah, it was a great experience for me. Yes. And what I want to share with you today is actually not about the Shorinji Kenpo skills at all. And by the way, I'm sorry. For those of you who don't know what Shorinji Kenpo is, it's a Japanese martial art, a rather new one that was born after Japan lost World War II. It was created by a man called So. Now, he was actually studying abroad in China when World War II happened, and when he tried to return to Japan, he couldn't return to Japan because of the wars. Yes, he was studying abroad in China, and he was actually studying Kung Fu and Chinese martial arts in Shaolin Si, which is Shorinji. Yes, in Japanese. So when he came back to Japan, he saw all of the destruction, all of the people dying and suffering, and he thought, I need to do something. I really need to do something to rebuild Japan. So what he did was he created a new martial art, and he gave it the name Shorinji Kenpo because he respected everything that he learned from China. So a lot of Japanese people think too that Shorinji Kenpo is a Chinese martial art, but no, it was made by a Japanese man in Japan, yes. And it's actually a combination of a lot of martial arts, like the Kenpo, of course, in China, also karate, also jujutsu, yes. So it also has all the locks and everything, but also the punch and kicks, yes. And it's a really, what should I say? A very useful martial art for self-protection as well, yes. And it was great. Actually, it's really one of my favorite martial arts still. And if I'm ever going to be teaching, letting my daughters learn martial art, I'm really seriously considering Shorinji Kenpo, actually. So that's how much I really love it, yes. I don't train it anymore right now because I have other things that I really love even more than Shorinji Kenpo. Yeah, so unfortunately I don't have the time right now. But if I did have the time, I would definitely start training again. Yes. So back to my main story. So I have one thing that I remember so much through my trainings of Shorinji Kenpo, and it's it changed my life so much that I really, really wanted to share with you. Now, it's actually not specifically of the skills or the teachings of Shorinji Kenpo itself, but it's actually the words of our coach back at that time. So because again, our club team was super, super strict, we actually had 4 coaches in our club team, so that's a lot of coaches. And every week there was a timing where the coaches would take turns and they would give speeches before the training every week. Yes. And every week, so the coaches would prepare a speech. They would talk about their own trainings when they were young, or they could talk about their jobs that they have outside the dojo, of course, and things like that too. And one of the speeches that one of the younger coaches gave us, it's something that I still remember like it was yesterday, yes. Now what he said was, so everyone, I of course, work at a company right now, and he comes to, yeah, to teach on the weekends and such. He said, I work at a company right now. I'm a salesperson. Yes. And to be honest, do I ever have any occasions to punch or kick someone out one step outside the dojo? Will I ever have any occasions to, lock someone or punch or kick someone? No, that would bring me very easily to jail or get me confined or, things like that, right? So there's no occasion. I mean, because our training was so strict and we were like training for 9 hours a day, straight almost, yes, with hardly any breaks. So you can understand how strict the training is. But he told us, we're basically forcing you to train so hard. But to be honest, one step out of the dojo, the moment you graduate university or become after you end your training here at the club team, you will basically not be using any of the skills that you learned here. Yes, you're not allowed to. Once you become a black belt in Japan, it's against the laws to even punch or kick because you're considered a person with skills enough to severely damage someone. But then he said, but then why do we still want you to train so hard? Why are we forcing you to train something so hard that you can't use outside the dojo? And what he told us is something I still remember so much. He told us, I want you to train seriously because life is always about, this is Japanese, life is always about yaru ka, yaranai ka, which means life is always about if you choose to do it or if you choose to not do it. Every single moment of your life, it's always about this, whether you choose to do it or you choose to not do it. And he said, the reason why I want you to train so hard is because in your lives, everyone, I want you to be a person that chooses to do it every single time. You might feel that the training is hard. You might feel that you can't do another kata. You might feel that you can't stand up. No, you can choose to do it. Yes. Go outside, start working. There might be a moment where you think, okay, this job is too big for me. There's too many tasks. I can't go on anymore. I can't do this anymore. No, you can do it. Don't choose the not doing it. Choose to do it because you can. And that is what I'm teaching you here in this dojo. I think you can agree with me how powerful his words were. Yes. And come to think of it, it is always that, it's always whether you choose to do it or not do it. If you really break down everything inside your life, it's always about that. If you tell someone that you love that person or not at that moment, if you're grateful for that person, if you go and see that person or not, you could say, well, I still have next week. Maybe you won't have next week to meet that person. You might think, okay, so this job is too much for me. Maybe you could do it. Maybe you could evolve into a better person. You never know until you choose to actually do it. Yes. Now, of course, I'm not here to say that you should hurt yourself or you should, torture yourself by doing everything that's difficult. But I do completely agree with my coach back at that time that you really need to actually start moving and taking actions in order to fully understand if that's good or not for you. Because you can't just look at something and completely and correctly judge something if that's good for you or not. You need to pick it up and actually see it and actually touch it to see if this is good for you or not. If it's not good for you, just put it down again, right? Yes. But that first step of choosing to do that, to pick it up, to take the first step or anything, it could be anything, you need to do it. Yes. If you continue to choose not to do it, you're just standing there. Yes. And of course, you don't always have to evolve. You don't always have to, push yourself. It's okay for you to relax and rest. But yes, that's okay too. Yes. But that's still a choice, right? Yes. You need to make your choices on your own. Yes. Relaxing or saying, I don't need any money or I'm just going to be living a simple life. That is a choice. You chose it. You did that life, right? Yes. So anyways, the words that my coach told me, it's been how many years since I graduated my club team? More than 7-8 years now, I think. Yes. But those words that our coach taught us at that day is something that I still remember so much. And that's really one of the reasons why I love martial arts. Or, of course, it might be sports, it might be music, it might be your teachers, your instructors that gave you these words. Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, please let me know if you were training anything or studying something and you had an instructor or a senpai, a senior, that gave you words that changed your life. Please let me know. I mean, this would be a great comment section, to learn about what everyone learned through their lives, through their training and everything. Be great, yes. For me, of course, if we talk about iaido or tea ceremony and such, I have a lot more to talk about. But I just remembered, especially about the Shorinji Kenpo when I was a university student. So today, I wanted to talk about this to you. Yep. All right. So then, before I go, my ultimate goal of my life, yes, the ultimate goal of my life is to make Japan a better place, to make all Japan lovers' dream come true. What I mean by that is I want to make Japan a better place for people who want to travel, study, work, and live in Japan, yes, so they can make their dreams come true. They want to see the nature, for example. They want to experience traditional culture. They want to meet with Japanese people. They want to speak Japanese. It could be anything, yes. But is Japan going to be able to provide that in the future? There's a big question mark there. It's because Japan is facing a lot of social problems. We're losing a lot of our traditional culture, and the young are suffering and dying because of all of these social issues in our society, yes. I don't want anyone to think that, okay, Japan was a very nice city in the past, it seems, taking a look at these old movies. Too bad Japan doesn't exist anymore, yes. I don't want this to happen, at least on my watch, yes. So I want to solve the social problems. I want to preserve and evolve the traditional culture, and I also want to support the younger generation by creating businesses for them to connect to the world, yes. And to do that, in order to do that, my first step right now that I'm not wasting 1 second to achieve is to achieve 1 million subscribers by the end of next year, yes. And I'm seriously heading towards this. It might sound impossible, but I have faith in you, and I have faith in myself, in my team, and to my family, yes. And I fully believe that I can achieve this goal. So I do need your help though. It'd be great if you can give me likes and also comments in my videos, which will help me to boost my videos to more people who have never watched my video. And also it'd be great if you find a video that you like. It'd be great if you can share it to your friends and family and on SNSs. That would be so grateful too. Okay? Alright then everyone, thank you so much for your time, and I'll be waiting for your comments about words or anything that changed your life through that your senpai or instructor taught you. Okay? Alright then, thank you so much everyone. ありがとうございました。